Hey y'all, and welcome in. I got a fun stream planned for y'all today. And I'm feeling especially rested. I pretty much slept all weekend. Did a couple chores on Sunday. Did not stream, so we're back to a day one on our streak. And got up around 9 a.m. today, got some coffee, and then took another nap from 10 to 11. I don't know, just that kind of day. But now I feel great. Hope you guys are having a nice start to your Monday. Hopefully a little less sleepy than mine, but nice all the same. Hello to Square, Mini Blades, Reaper, Taka, and Aloha. Always good seeing y'all. All right, what are our updates today? I have a sticky note I pinned to my monitor now because I cannot remember this list. Always trying to offload the brain. First things first is let's talk about the question of the day. This has been taken over by Aloha, and they have been doing a fantastic job. If you want to participate, jump on our Discord server and scroll right down under Miscellaneous. Question of the day. Today is, you have to DM a new campaign 24 hours for some new players. What area would you focus on the most? You can only pick up to 3. Got immediate setting of the campaign, central storyline or conflict, combat encounters, party building exercises, so roleplay, overall world building, and rule sets and guidance. You can pick other. I picked rule sets and party building because that's what makes me come back to D&D games. Like, if I want a really epic combat encounter, I play a lot of video games and I feel like I get that itch scratched there. But like the creativity of real people, you know what I mean? I think shines the most in roleplay. So yes. Hey, Wesley's here. I'm so tired. Well, kick back, grab a warm drink, enjoy the stream. Also, welcome in. I believe that you're new. I don't recognize the name. So yeah, that is the poll today. You can go into our Discord and vote here, or you can just say your answer in the chat too. That's totally fine. I know a lot of people really enjoy the combat encounters in D&D. For me, they're not like the highlight for me, but I can really enjoy them. I've also played a lot of campaigns where I'm chronically low level, so that probably would change my mind if I actually live long enough to have a character that's high enough level to do cool stuff. So yes. Curious what your guys' input. Oh, and one more thing on this. The freebie of the day. This is hosted on Patreon, but it's easy for me to grab it from Discord. We have a channel right here called M3DM Daily Freebie. And today we have this really cool raven on a pile of bones. This is a 3D printable model, and it is free just for today. It replaces in 24 hours. If you want to download that for free, just click on this link. There you go. And there's no tricks. Like, you don't have to like put in your email or make an account or any crap like that. You can just click on the post and download the files for free right there. Here's the post, scroll to the bottom, right here. I would love if you also followed or checked out my Patreon, but you do not have to. So go grab that freebie. Enjoy. There's a new one every single day. The heist today is necromancer themed. That is a little thing you guys can do in the chat by typing !heist, and you can bet an amount of poing. Poing is just the currency of the stream. So as you watch and chat, you get poing and you can spend it on things. If you want to see what you can spend it on, do !store, and there you go. If that doesn't make sense, a mod will help you. Wesley says, oh my gosh, I forgot to get on my other account. Who are you normally then? You know what? It's a mystery. I like it. Thank you, Mini Blaze, for tagging all those links for everyone. All right, what else? Oh, there's a gnat in here. God, I hate gnats. Okay. Anyway, we are sculpting a Tavern pet today because on my stream on Friday, we hit our donation goal twice. So every day the donation goal is $30, and we easily hit that. So we made a Tavern pet of an owl, and then we also decided on a mad mage. But instead of doing both of those on the same day, I decided to simply push that to Monday today. If you guys want to put references for that, you're more than welcome to by going to the Two-Faced Monster ref channel right here. And that's the main Tavern Keeper's Craft. If you can't wait, you can get a sneak peek now. But yes, this channel here is really just the live stream hub. So if you guys want to have like memes in here or stuff that's on topic, off topic, it's just a place where you guys can chat and post images because you can't do that in the YouTube chat. And it's also my grand scheme to get you guys all into my Discord. So yes, that too. Excellent. Heists are happening. I'd love to see it. All right, I believe that is all of the intros. Let me reset our donation goal for the day. We already have a Tavern pet queued up, so if we hit the donation goal today, then we will have another Tavern pet for tomorrow. Unless it's an extra long stream and then maybe we'll do them both today, who knows. All right, that goal is now live. And the cool thing about this is that one person does not have to max it out. The whole, oh, I actually have a starting amount already. Huh, nope, not $100. Anyway, that way it's like if 30 people donate $1, that also works. You guys don't have to break the bank over it. It's just a fun thing that pools together. But like always, donations are never expected. It's just a fun thing that's also part of the stream. We already have an immense amount of tabber pets to deal with, which is great. There we go. Now it's functioning correctly. All right, I believe that is everything. So it is officially, this is door to open. Should I come in, settle in, get comfortable? I already finished my coffee and now it's time for a warm up. I already shared my Pinterest board with you guys right here. And these are just a bunch of pins that I have where I can kind of look at things and get ideas for future ZBrush models or just different techniques I haven't tried out before. I'm feeling kind of sleepy this morning. So I decided to grab a prompt here that I could not possibly finish in 30 minutes. I'm not sure why, I'm just feeling kind of unhinged like that today. So let me show you guys what that is. I'm going to try to sculpt this goofy little fox guy. But I'm going to show you guys how important to Spotlight first because Spotlight is a good tool and I never ever use it. So if you go to Texture, Import, you can actually grab an image that will float on top. Here we go. I named it Monday Warm-Up Small. It has to be a smaller image, otherwise it won't work. I see it worked right here, so I click on it and then click on Add to Spotlight right here. So this is Spotlight. Spotlight is this kind of confusing but very powerful little doodad that you can have in ZBrush to project textures, so images, not 3D sculpted details, onto your mesh. You can also use it as a reference hub though. So if you click right here and rotate, you can scale the image. And if you want to move it, I usually just click and drag somewhere on the image itself. But yeah, I can't possibly get all of this done in 30 minutes. So I thought this would be a fun unhinged warm-up to see how far I could get. There's scale. I haven't used Spotlight in quite some time, so bear with me. And then once you want to not deal with the wheel anymore, just click Z, Z as in zebra, and it will go away. But then it'll stay pinned up there the whole time. Kind of a nifty thing. Again, I really don't use it often, but I thought it'd be a nice thing to have up there. It would seem that my brush is not working. It would seem that if I have Spotlight up, it will not let me sculpt. And I know there's a workaround for this. Otherwise, this wouldn't be very helpful. But I can't remember what lets me do that. Huh. Well, that's too bad. It kind of defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it? Well, boo. Oh well. Tried to make something useful, was not useful. It's okay. I shall just put it in Discord. Boop. There we go. Thanks, Pete. Hello, hello. Oh, we now know your true name. Or at least, I know I had both, I guess. But that's fine. All right, go ahead and open image. I'd like to open this in like a browser. At this rate, I won't even be able to get the model started. Oh my lord. Again, this is just like a fun little warm-up, which I know I can't possibly get all of this done in the warm-up, but that's what that'd be a fun thing to work on. So let's get started. Looks like, okay, I need, this gnat's driving me crazy. I'm usually, fun fact about me, I'm good at grabbing bugs out of the air. I don't know why, it's like a stupid skill. But of course, I'm really slow and tired today, so I can't get it. All right, moving on, not being unhinged. Paint, oh no, people know my name, whatever will I do? Yeah, I already think of you as Paint. Okay. This little fox dude is super cute, and I actually quite complicated. And so that's why I thought it'd be fun to practice on this little guy. I'm just gonna grab a sphere and keep moving these shapes around at a very low dynamesh. And we'll see how far we can get until Doors Open is over. So once this little mug slides all the way over, we'll move on to the main Tavern Keeper's craft. I remember the first time I saw this little fox dude, I was like, wow, that looks really complicated, those shapes. There's a lot going on there. And then this morning I'm like, I'm gonna try to do the whole thing during my warm-up. Like a crazy person. Sometimes if I'm really tired and not firing on all cylinders, I actually can get art done better because there's just not enough energy to crowd my own brain with thoughts. So, funny how that works. Reaper says, you mean your name's not Paint? I know, I'm actually shocked. Then once Empress is here, let me know. Ping me if Empress shows up. I have to give her a hard time about something. So right now we're just vibing. We're moving shapes around. We're having fun. We don't care if it turns out great. We're just kind of following this as like a little tutorial guide almost, and seeing how far we can get. I love them already. Most of this is done with the standard brush. And move. So his face, what's so difficult about this? It's like completely pushed in. You guys see this? Yeah, that's why I picked this model to like practice on in the morning, because I'm like, I don't even understand how this cute thing comes to existence, even though I have a step-by-step right here. This reminds me, I was telling Oloa earlier where I'm like, I'm tired of streams are going too well. I need to find something complicated where I'm like, it does not turn out great. I think it's going to help my students. And again, specifically Empress. Reaper said, Empress must have done bad. Actually, it's because she did not create bad that I have to give her a hard time. Mini Blaze bounces. Mia's going to give someone a hard time instead of me. Yes, it is time. It is Chaos Monday, indeed. And I really just can't be bothered to import a new sphere, so that's why I just keep duplicating to make all the different new shapes. You don't have to do that. I like this little tail though. Let's go ahead and mask this. I'm using a bunch of different techniques here, but it's mostly just masking and then my core brushes that are right here. Paint says, I'm named Wesley after the Princess Bride. Oh, how nice. I love that movie. As you wish. This looks ridiculous. Oh, I love it. That's why I picked this, because I was like, these shapes are actually really complicated. I think it'd be a really good practice. And he's just got these little He kind of reminds me of Red from Animal Crossing. That's terrifying. Alrighty. I noticed there's some connection issues. Man, it's just been a lot of weather around here. If you guys see a bunch of stuttering, please let me know. I can try to refresh things on my side. I'm actually going to ZBrush this head. It does remind me of the ghost dog from Halloween, from Zero, from Night Before Christmas. Absolutely. I made this snoot way too long. Let's French the snoot. Yeah, exactly. He's got this really cute big floof too. Oh man, they Dynamesh all this together so early. Well, shoot. I guess I'll do that then. I try, whenever I'm doing these little warm-ups, to kind of follow the workflow that they demonstrate, because I have a certain way of doing things. But if I don't try new things, I'm never going to learn. It can be very easy to get very comfortable in like one way of doing things. And even though I usually end up going back to the way that I do things, every now and then I pick up something new that I want to keep. Yeah, look at this super fun shape here. Oh yeah, that's why I picked this. I knew it was going to be tricky. Let's get a little bit of color in here for me to hide behind. That sounds nice. There we go. I'm having a hard time getting these little feet so close together. It's fun though. Let's make them just little round nubs. There we go. There's some structure. Reaper says, I hear the boy. Oh, probably. Yep, looks like he's rolling around back there. So this goofy little smile is so cute, and it somehow stretches all the way back onto this cheek fluff and doesn't look terrifying when they do it. Why does it look scary when I do it? And then I can't believe they have all of this Dynamesh into one piece. That is just wild to me. That is never the way that I would do this. I don't mind it, honestly. It feels more like sculpting with traditional clay, I imagine. I've never worked with like professional grade clay, but I have played with Play-Doh, which is something. Oh my gosh, I can't get over how silly this little guy is, but hey, we're making some progress. And we're about done with doors open, so whatever I have at the end of that is just gonna have to be what it is. Because this is just a fun little warm-up, and I'm like, I wanna make some complicated shapes today. So that's what I did. I've been trying to explain this to some of my current students too, of like finding that good enough point and moving on. So I think doing more practice like this will be really, really helpful. especially because I'm surprised at how much trouble my create bad assignment is giving some of my students. It's like they just refuse to create bad. They want to grab references, they want to make it this art piece, and I'm like, what in the world? You'll never be able to make something quick like this if everything you do is this big production. You're just putting so much pressure on yourself. You just gotta kind of get it in there, scribble some shapes, and have some fun. And if it doesn't turn out good, awesome. You had fun. You made art. That's the point. All right, let's add a little bit more floof. I'm just using the move brush for this, holding down Option and click and drag. Oh, he has little white eyebrows. I totally missed those. But right here, I'll just use damn standard for that right now and throw a little bit of poly paint on him. Lighten up the ears a touch. All right, I got a thing that resembles the original, so I'm proud of that. I don't think I can add teeth quite. I don't think I have time to add teeth. Mine is definitely not as polished and cute, but you know what? Darn it, we ended with something that resembles this little guide thing, and trying to get this much work done in my 20-minute warm-up is insane. But I was like, that sounds like fun. So that's what I did. It's kind of cute. I'm not gonna save it. Maybe asked, where is his booty? There is no booty on the reference, so we're bootyless. But there we go. Oh, Empress is here. Wonderful. I wanted to bully Empress with love for just a little bit here, because I think it'd be a very good learning opportunity, and it was very funny to me. All right, there we go. I partly did this in inspiration of Empress, just to get some things down. And, oh, I was like, no, save him. But he'll never be used again, though. He's just a goofy little guy. Alrighty. All right, Empress, you're in the spotlight. It's bully time. All right, I saw in student artwork that Empress said right here, it still feels like fumbling around. On the right, an egg. On the left, a mite. It's supposed to be creating something bad. That's all I have to show after fighting blank canvas syndrome. This is inherently not the essence of create bad. And it's so sweet. I knew you were going to struggle with this, because when I DM'd you the assignment, one of the first things that you said was, any tips for what you would do? So this is one of my favorite assignments. It's to create a healthy habit by creating something every day with no pressure. Do not try to make this look good. Alien blobs are encouraged. And sure enough, the first thing you did was panic and go grab references. Ah, you wound me. No, truly, I think there's like this expectation that you have to create something good, and I think that's like the single thing that kills new artists the most. If you want to do create bad, you can grab a cylinder. I mean, you can really grab whatever you want. I really don't care. I'm gonna do create bad right now in like 2 minutes. Ooh, this gear I think looks cool. I'm gonna grab a gear. Okay, what do I want to do with this? I don't know. What happens if I dynamesh it? I dynamesh really low. Oh, that looks kind of cute. You know what that kind of reminds me of? That kind of looks like a flower. Maybe I'll make a little flower. I'm gonna build up some petals, and then I'm gonna take my damn standard brush, and I'll just create some little doodads. Yeah, I think that's fun. Oh, you know what else I would like if I did this? I think I'd like if I had more of an interesting color. I want a nice pink flower here. I'll kind of scribble in here, make that a darker color. No, let's do a green flower. Nah. What else I want to do with this? Maybe I want more gears. Ooh, what if it was like a metal flower? What if I just had a bunch of these? Let's make the whole thing green. See, this is create bad. This is how you do it. I'm really just like messing around with shapes. Oh, that's kind of cool. It almost looks kind of like a honeycomb thing. What can I do with that? I don't know. Let's stretch it out. Oh, if I do that, it almost looks like I can make like a new base out of that. If I flatten the bottom of it. Now if I take this. Oh, this would be cool. From here, what I can actually do is go back to my alien flower concept. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Yeah, I've got this big swoosh here, and I can duplicate this base shape and create some big petals off of it. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a live demo of this Empress because one, I use you to poke fun at lovingly, but also like I know you're genuinely trying your best, and that's kind of part of the problem. Every time that you sit down, you try to create some masterpiece, you're really gonna have a hard time. And this is what I really credit how quickly I've grown as an artist is purely by being able to do this, to sit down and be like, oh neat, I made a thing. There we go. I made a flower. Done. Delete all. Don't worry about it. But there you go. I hope that kind of helps, joking aside, and be kind to yourself. Empress, no, runs. Faint says, Mia, I think I made okay bad. My brain was like, heck yeah, weird thing. Oh yeah, you did fantastic, truly. Mini Blaze had a pretty good adventure with that too. Yeah, they started with a sphere. Before they knew it, they had a planet with a volcano and all kinds of stuff. Exactly. Exactly. And again, I poke fun at you, but because that's every student I have, they're more like the perfectionist issue than otherwise. So I want to make sure I talked about that for a little bit. All right. Well, this is the last time you guys are going to see this little dude. So say goodbye. He was fun. I'll give him a nice little, oh, that's a terrible render. The default render set in ZBrush is so harsh. Let's pull up a radial overlay instead. There we go, a little softer shadows. But yeah, that was our warm-up of the day. I had it under here. This was roughly what we were following. And this was a tricky one. This is not a good practice for beginners, but it was a good time. All right, we're moving on. Mini Blaze says, I'm not on the pick on pedestal today. Yes, because you're not telling me what to do. All right, let's talk about the main event of the day. Oh, I really want to keep my scene though. I need to figure out how to get a scene in ZBrush that will just stay. I have a, whatchamacallit, a macro that got some work done for me. Oh well. We'll go up to my begin ZPR. Everyone wants to save the fox. No, what am I gonna do with them? So you guys are too attached to your art. You're more attached to my art than I am. Be free. All right, let's move on to the main Tavern Keeper's craft. Empress says, thank you for the live demo. I think I'm not scared now. I literally sit with ZBrush open all day, just blank. I want to create, but like the fingers don't know what to do. And that's that pressure. And like, try to make something that would make yourself laugh. You know what I mean? Like something that's truly silly. And it can be anything. Just make something. Alrighty, let's move on to the Mini Blaze says, work on them later, clean them up, and add them to pets. Oh, I can't do that. That was like another artist, like original concept, and I pretty much just copied it. So I'm not gonna put a booty on it and call it my own. I can make my own fox. Okay. So here is the main event of the day. Oh, I didn't grab the screenshot. That's okay. All right, so the request for the day is a double face monster. This is from my lovely patron, Ethan. Thank you and your wife so much for being such a huge supporter of my work and for supporting my art for 29 months. Pretty awesome. We have another unique one today. You've asked for a double face monster. And they say maybe this would be a female ogre, orc, or demon type to have more head area to work with. One face in the front and one in the back of the head. And they're both fighting different monsters that are in front of them. Maybe the front face is using a weapon on his left hand, and the back face is using a weapon in the right hand. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find any references. So I asked Gemini to make some for me, and then this is kind of like AI goop, but it gets some of the idea across. So yes, we're going to go with a female ogre warrior, and kind of just play with that from here. My peasants came in at the last minute with some good references. Oh, Professor Quirrell is a great one, of course. Absolutely. Very creepy. So we're doing something kind of like this. I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle the issue of hair, because we're going to have like, we'll just figure it out as we go. I think I'm going to mostly just consider this like a normal model from the front, and then we'll deal with the weirdness of putting the head on the back towards the very end. So for now, we'll go with a orc queen of some sort. So I'm going to run to my Pinterest. Search your pens. How do I don't want to search my pens. I just want to go to Pinterest. Thank you, thank you. There we go. All right, so I'll type in orc queen, and I'll kind of just grab some stuff from here if I like it. I like this. Hey, Nerd came in. Hello, welcome in. Maybe he can have a mohawk. That could probably work. So we're grabbing some references here. I want like a fierce warrior. Still gonna be a monster again, and she'll be fighting a monster in front of her and behind her. I like this outfit and stuff. And a lot of hair. Again, we're gonna have kind of an odd issue with hair here because we're gonna have a face on the front of the head and the back of the head. Yeah. And it's not left and right, it's gonna be front and back. Grab a couple of that. Let's just type in two-face monster and see what comes up. I kind of like the forms that are happening here, and that kind of gives me the option to add horns, which is something that's demon-like. I like that. Interesting. That is just beautiful work. Not really relevant to what I'm doing today, but that's just really nice. Is there a name on that artist? Tong Fei Liu. Beautiful. All right, I don't need too many references here, so I'm happy with that. Thank you, Mini Blaze, for grabbing a couple. And I'll add the screenshots of what I just grabbed. Just a couple here. All right, that's good enough. Let's get cooking. Perfect. I'm going to reopen this file so that my canvas fills up the entire space, which is just like this little bar right here. I'm not a fan of that. So if I open, it'll snap the way I want it to. There we go. All right, we do not need the male base mesh. I'll go ahead and delete that. Perfect. And then we're going to just throw her over here so we know where we started. It's always kind of fun to check back throughout the stream to see how far we've come. And then I'm also going to kind of get some colors blocked in here with the body after I do my kit bashing stage. Let's see if there's any hairstyles here that'll be helpful. I'm trying to, I don't want to do like a bun, for example. And I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I'll have like one head with two faces or if I'll give myself some grace by having the heads kind of stretch and pull away from each other in a bit of a more monstrous way. I think that's what's going to look the best because this hairstyle is going to be actually quite difficult to nail down. I think something with an updo and sort of like spikes will be nice. So let's grab this initially. All right, we have a hairstyle. We'll just roughly throw it into place. Bam, good enough. And then as far as her, like horns go, I'll create those myself later. Yes, we can move on from here. She won't need any shoes. I imagine I'm going to give her a very classic tribal kind of look. Something kind of like this. Let me scroll. Something kind of like this. But it's pretty open-ended here. Ethan and his wife Jen have supported my work for quite some time, so whenever they make requests, I know what they're really asking for, which is like something in this direction, but make it awesome. Which is what I am here to do. Oh, Minnie Boy says, Mia, what if you did have long hair in the back to hide the face and separate/split it to show a hint of a face, maybe an eye as it fights? I'm cooking. I have this habit now I'm trying to get rid of where when I think really hard, I rub my lips. Trying to stop doing that. Anyway. Yeah, that could be really cool and a bit creepier than I was expecting. Good one, Mini Blaze. Okay. Mini Blaze, can you screenshot what you just said and put it in our reference board so I can look at it later? And like while we're on stream here, that'd be really nice. Or just retype your comment. You don't have to screenshot it, I guess. All right, we're gonna grab this piece here because there's a lot for me to work with. Roughly throw it into place. And then as far as her top goes, I'm not quite certain what I want, but this is roughly the shape of it, I suppose. And then I do think some sort of cape would be awesome. That would make it look really weird from the back. I don't know if I can do a cape. You know, I probably can't do a cape, but I can do a long skirt hanging off of her hips. I've never used this cape asset I've made before as a skirt, but I think today will be the first. You know, I don't want her totally barefoot. We'll go with some wraps, something a little more minimalist. Something I'm gonna add like different fur trim to though. Yeah, okay, we're cooking now. I feel like as my streams go on, my kit bashing stage looks worse and worse, and I kind of love that. So what were you guys up to over the weekend? I'm curious. I had a really nice, quiet weekend myself. All right. Now that we have everything that's kit bashed and put in here, we're going to work on just the body because a lot's going to be dependent on this. First thing I'm going to do is give the body color the correct coloring, which will be kind of like this lightish green. And then that will allow me to start getting a color on the base scene too. If I click on back right here, click and drag, I can kind of find a color. But obviously if I pick green, she's going to blend right in. So we will flip over to this side here, go to these purpley hues, and we should get some good contrast that way. Let's pick something a bit muted, and now go to document, change everything to around 0.5, except for the rate, I go negative 0.25. It just makes things more fun for me to look at. Instead of the dull ZBrush. There we go. All right, now we have this base here. Let's get some work done on her face. She's not looking very monstery, is she? First thing I'm gonna do is lower the subdiv, and we're gonna kind of play with these ears. I'm gonna mask just the top of them, and then clean up my mask by inverting it with Command Tap, and then kind of painting in some closer shapes here. There we are. Reaper says, I spent all Sunday playing games. I need the break after my monster commission. Yeah, that was an immense amount of work, and you did a lovely job. Empress says, I was quite busy. Turns out I rolled a dog who has seasonal allergies. Scared me to death thinking she was choking. That is hysterical. Yeah, usually my horse breaks out in hives around this time of year consistently. So I have a bunch of Zyrtec that I give him. And it's straight up just human Zyrtec. I give him like 20 a day when he's having bad allergies. But this year he was great. So knock on wood. And this is a monster, so I'm really going to have fun with it and do whatever I want. I'm kind of needing that right now. So some of the first things I'm doing here is just making her features more fun to look at by making them more extreme. I'm also hiding the eyelashes and the eyebrows so they don't, otherwise I kind of naturally try to fit facial features to those, but in reality, my face, like the eyelashes and the eyebrows should complement the face, not the other way around. I'm going to build up this brow here, as well as these cheekbones. I'm going to shorten up the nose, and flip it up a touch. Lower the brow, and make the whole face just a touch longer. That's better. I use my Dan Sander brush to kind of exaggerate this nasolabial fold and the chin. Notice I'm doing this at a very low poly. I'm also going to bring up where that cheekbone is, the edge of your orbital socket, and same with the jaw. Give a softer transition here and a bit of a longer, just a longer face in general. All right, and now I can add back the eyebrows. I'm going to make them wider by using the 3D gizmo and just pulling upwards. There we go. And now the eyelashes. This is a trust the process kind of model on steroids. There we go. Now let's add a little more poly paint variation. I'm going to darken the tips of the ears, the lips, kind of add almost like a bit of shadow here. To add some more color here, we're actually going to contrast it with kind of this purple highlighting instead of going with the traditional red. Let's go lighter on this. Her eyes being green kind of just melts into the rest of the model in a way that I don't want. So we're going to change her eye color, but instead of repainting it, we'll come down to poly paint, adjust colors, frame, and then click and drag the hue. I'm thinking a yellowy gold will be perfect. And I'm making it really intense because that's just kind of the mood that I'm in right now. There we go. Let's darken up the lips just a touch. Like this two-tone thing going on. And then back with damp standard. I like to really exaggerate the nostrils in this line right here because faces, when they're 3D printed, it can be, especially when they're so small, like the minis that I design, can be really hard to capture. So having all that bumped up helps a lot. We need a name for her. I think we do. Anyways, what do you want to name her? Got some interesting shapes started here. Now let's kind of build up these muscles. I'm going to exaggerate the collarbone. And then same with this muscle that runs behind your ear, connects right on the top here. Really coming in nice and heavy-handed. And then the same with this divot, I'm gonna dig it down just a touch more. There we go. I'll start defining the deltoid a bit more, really coming in quite heavy-handed here because it's kind of like I'm almost coming with like construction lines, you can think of it almost. And then I'll come through and add a bunch of volume around it to make these muscles look nice. All right, we can do with clay tubes, and we're gonna add, actually no, not clay tube, we're gonna use clay. And without poly paint turned on, we'll add some volume here. All right, now that I have these kind of blocked out, I can grab my move brush and really start pulling some strong forms here. There we go. All right, that's good enough. Let's go ahead and add some hair. I'm thinking really just like a dark purple. And then this crown behind her will be a different color. I think I'm gonna try to incorporate this in the best I can. But first I need to make all these a separate poly group so it's easy for me to adjust as needed. It's also a bit too crushed down as far as topology goes. I might need to rebuild that. Yeah, we're in that very early blocking stage. Seeing what's going to make this model look cool and just the direction I want to take it. It's going to be a quick one, so if you guys have, as far as like changes happening, if you guys have questions, just ask as they come up. Aloha says, I'm not gonna lie, I've not been locked in at all. It's a quiet Monday, I think, for me. I'm totally feeling that. Again, I mentioned I took an hour nap before this stream, which is crazy because the stream starts at noon. So I woke up at 9, had some coffee, fell asleep again from 10 to 11. Just kind of one of those days. And not a bad day unless you make it one, you know? I'm just gonna let it be what it's gonna be. So I'm grateful today is a monster because I'm not really in the mood to make something look pretty. Why does she look slightly cross-eyed? She looks kind of like just disgusted, which I don't mind that. Oh, Mini Blaze wants Aloha to name and do a lore. No, Aloha can have a day off. Mini Blaze, you said you wanted to pick a name. You pick a name. Or she can just be nameless. That's also fine. Most of my models don't have names. They'll take on a different life depending on whose campaign that they're in and all that good stuff. All right, I'm gonna remove this front crown piece thing. It's just not working. There we go. Instead, I'm gonna add some horns. I do have a starter for that. Where did that piece go? There we go. Oh boy, did I accidentally hit delete? That's one thing that's like a huge pet peeve of mine in ZBrush. If you accidentally delete something, it's gone forever. Simple as that. There's no undoing it. Just goodbye. Oh well. Let's reload. She looks like a Gelda. I like that. Do we have to have a different name for the secondary face that'll be on the back? Gelda. I like that. Orc names, I always feel like I want them to start with a G. So I'm just going to roughly put this into place, and then we'll create the horn shape. And to do that, you bring Gizmo with W, click on the little gear, and then bend curve. I like to just pick where it's going to start and where it's going to end. And then I'll add a little bit more resolution and nodes as needed. There we go. I think I want to go with a more simple shape here, something that's very easy for me to adjust, since we're going to have two sets, probably. All right, let's go with a darker color at the base. There we go. Just keep on cooking. Are you guys working on anything right now? Or are we all just kind of hanging out? I feel like it's just a sleepy day for everyone, which, same. Looking a bit goat-like here. I don't mind it. Softening the jawline a touch here because it's just looking a little unintentional, if that makes sense. I'm going to fix that up by coming in with my trim dynamic brush too, and kind of just creating some flatter planes here to simplify the face. This is more like just a construction moment for me to figure out where everything is at and how I want to sculpt it. Yeah, it's this transition plane between the face, the mouth, and the cheek. You can tell it got a little mumbly, so I can kind of strike that in. That line connects down. And then there is like a fold right here. Okay. And for once, I will come with my smooth brush just to simplify these forms a touch. Face is getting a little overworked. I forgot about this stupid spotlight. I'm still baffled that I tried that. I'm like, oh, I'll put that on stream. And then there was like ZBrush was like, oh no, you can't sculpt while that is up. I'm like, oh, okay. A Slice of Cake says, is this a model for Dungeons and Dragons? You are correct. I mean, technically it could also be for Pathfinder, Gloomhaven, whatever you want. But yes, I sculpt tabletop minis for a living. I've been doing that for 6 years. I got over 1,000 of them available on my Patreon. And this is a request. It's going to be a two-headed monster, or two-faced monster, kind of like Professor Quirrell from Harry Potter. The patron that requested this has been supporting me forever, and so I know they just want me to make something cool. So that's what I'm doing. I think the halo is going to end up being distracting if I don't make it smaller. Let's go ahead and just delete it, and then this shape will be moved up more towards the top of the head. As you can tell, she only has one face right now. Very early on here. I'm gonna give her a really high bun here to make room for the other face that'll be poking out later. But yeah, this is what we started with, and this is what I have come up with so far. Yeah, this is another unique concept for sure. I don't know if I said it in my head or out loud, but if I didn't say it out loud, welcome in, monkey. All right, we're gonna create her top here. So select the body and then just mask out an outline of the shape that you want. That's about right. It's gonna be kind of like a little fur trimmed vest, essentially. Once you're done masking, you can go over to your tool menu here and click extract. I always do it at 0 thickness. It just makes my life much easier. There you go. The fewer polys that you have, the fewer things that can go wrong, essentially. The fewer things to manage is a better way to think of it. Give it a small inflate so it actually sits on top of the body the way that it should. And then we're gonna introduce another color into this scheme. Let's go with more of a red color. I'll do the same thing for the horns. The poly paint doesn't affect the 3D print itself. It's just a fun thing that I like to do on stream. Sweet. Now we're gonna work on the rest of her. I imported these little like leaf pant that I made. I don't know why it's called leaf pant. I think I made it for like a potential druid or something. Sweet, and we're gonna split this into different pieces and get this set up. Obviously there'll be a belt that actually holds all of this together. So let's go ahead and create that belt. I'm gonna duplicate the body and delete lower because you cannot use curved brushes on meshes that have multiple subdivs. There we go. I think some sort of angled belt would be really cool. I don't want to do too much more work on this until I adjust the body shape a touch. Cake says, how did you get started? Were you like an artist before or some kind of AutoCAD engineer? Close. I was in college for mechanical engineering. Once I got my bachelor's, I decided to try to take art full time, but it was never like a secret dream of mine. I just started playing around with it in 2019 and it kind of took off from there. I used to share all my stuff on Thingiverse, if that site even exists anymore. And I just really fell in love with it. Growing up, I was always considered myself a musician. I played piano, so I was always like the musical friend in the group. I was never like the artist. So it's kind of funny how things end up. I've now been doing this full time for 6 years. I think you're one of the first people that guessed, like, oh, were you some sort of AutoCAD engineer first? People usually don't even get close to that, so good guess. I think it's because most people inherently think that like art and engineering are at odds with each other. When in reality, there's actually a lot of overlap. yourself? Do you create art as well, or are you an engineer? Ella says, I managed to post my project the first time I ever properly posted something before. That's amazing. And then Reaper says, you'd be surprised how much math goes into art. This is very true. Proportions are just a big math equation, literally. If I have this like little shawl thing, it's going to cover up these cool belts that I made, so I won't use that. But I do want there to be like, kind of like this high-low skirt thing going on, so I'm going to remove these back tabards. What? There we go. Let's go with a slightly redder color. Ooh, that's an odd thing going on there. There we go. Midori's here. Hey, it's been a while, Midori. Welcome. Midori, I don't know if you've actually come to a lot of my streams, but you've left nice comments a lot of my videos. Kik says, I started an engineering program this year, but I knew a civil engineer lady once, and she did graphic art design as a hobby. It was anime conventions and such. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Also, it's exciting for you starting an engineering program this year. I hope you have a better time of it than I did. I did not enjoy my college experience, but it's because school is tough. But just have a good attitude about it. Be ready to learn. Be ready to be challenged, and I think you're going to do just fine. If I could go back, I probably would have picked civil instead. Mechanical is more versatile than civil, but as a result, the coursework kind of feels less focused. Midori says, I enjoy your work. Thank you. I enjoy my work too. We're having a bit of a quieter Monday here, but it's still a really good time. I'm going to make her feet a bit larger. I just feel like we need a little better proportion going on here. So do that. I'm simply going to mask the feet, invert them, and increase the side using my 3D gizmo. So after the Tavern Keeper's Craft, we'll move on to Happy Hour, which is a time that's dedicated for all of my mentorship students. But in the meantime, you guys are still welcome to ask questions. I just might not get to them quite as quickly. But like always, if you guys ever ask me a question or have a comment and I miss it, just repeat yourself. I want to see your comments. I'm also going to widen up the arms a touch. Increase that forearm muscle, which I'm actually achieving by using the move brush, just being really careful about it. All right, let's add a little bit more poly paint here. This character's coming together quite quickly. A lot of work left to be done, but it's gonna be a good time. Alex here. Hello back. Hello back. Hello and welcome back. Hi, I'm here. My Discord got hacked. It took me 2 days to recover my account. Oh no. Can I get a Discord link again? Of course. Thank you, Reaper. All right, let's play with these belts a bit more. I think they need a bit thinner. There we go. Duplicate and mirror. There we go. It's just looking a bit too bulky. All right, so we're really early on Tavern Keeper's craft here. Not even a quarter of the way it looks like, so I'm very happy with how much I've gotten done here. It's never a race by any means, but with characters like this that I know are going to be kind of challenging to get the concept nailed down and get everything looking special, it feels nice if I can get through the blockout phase as quickly as possible so I can really spend time figuring out how the details are going to complement the main part of the model here. Yeah, I'm gonna make our feet a bit on the wide side too. There we go. Notice I don't spend too much time in any one area, just kind of organically moving throughout the model and seeing what must be fixed next. And that prevents me from getting too hung up on any one spot or any one detail. I think I can use this little belt on her hip to kind of help construct the shirt a bit more. Let's see if I can do a mirror and weld across the Z-axis too. Yeah, that might play nicely. So I'm loosely referencing this character here, and if you think, gee, it looks nothing like that, I'm like, yeah, kind of. I'm just going for general vibes. This request is supposed to be a two-faced monster more than anything. So I'm trying to get kind of more like a tribal goat woman look here. And right now I'm really playing with just shapes on the chest here to see if I can get some sort of cool belt thing going on. If I don't like it, I'll just restart. Not the whole character, just the top. There's some cool lines there. How am I going to implement those? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. On to the next thing. I know I have some bracers I can use. Aloha says, hopefully by the end of the week, my project will be done. I'll start my new project and they get me as monthly surprise ready. That would be awesome. And yeah, you got plenty of time. I still haven't finished The Fall of Aloha. You'll know when I finish it because I'm going to talk about it nonstop. There we go. I want some wraps kind of like this. She turned out looking so much more goat-like in her face, and I just kind of let that happen. I thought it was cool. He mentioned something kind of like demon or orc, and I'm like, goat lady? Hey, it's back. Welcome back. We're working on our two-faced demon orc goat lady. She currently has single face, but soon she'll have double face. Don't ask me what's going on with her top right now. I truly have no idea. It's gonna be cool when I figure out what it is I'm doing here. but we don't know what we're doing yet. If I made this kind of like a ribbon sort of deal, so I don't need all this side topology. Kind of like laces, but not really. How many times did I duplicate these? Oh my goodness. There we go. I think it'd be cool if she had kind of like leather straps that were hanging down as well. Like, what if I just take these laces, hopefully the topology isn't too butchered on them, and I just smooth off any gnarly edges. Ooh, not like that. No, we're not gonna do it this way. We're gonna construct it with brain. So I'm gonna use my curve strap snap brush and just click and drag. I want them to be kind of skinny though. Oh, and I don't want them to curve to the body that much. So I'll change my picker from continuous Z to once Z. And that'll stop it from contouring to the body and just a nice straight line. There we go. Now that I have this little strap here, let's inflate it so I don't have any 3D printing issues later. I like to do this to myself where I concept something really quickly and then the topology is terrible and I make it future Mia's problem. Well, future Mia has existed too many times and I'm tired of being future Mia, so I'm gonna fix things ahead of time. I'm also gonna do myself a favor and kind of detail this little flap here before I duplicate it 1,000 times. I know, crazy. Again, future Mia has simply existed too many times of late, and I'm tired of it. I think this shirt is turning out pretty cool. Can I mirror and weld that? Nah, it looks cooler without it. All right, so I got all these little leather straps. Not really sure what I'm gonna do with them, but I think it'd be cool if they kind of wove through the front of the shirt here. So maybe I'll weaved through the front here. I'll do the same thing on the bottom, but with less sections. Otherwise it looks a little busy. Make them wider. Yeah, that's got a nicer flow to it. When in doubt, more layers. And then by contrast, I think it'd be cool if she had some like looping belts on her thighs. So I duplicated the body to delete subdiv, otherwise the curved strap snap brush will not work. All right, I made one section. Let's do it again. Going the other direction, not quite like that. No, you will do what I want you to. Cool. Got those two sections. Now we'll show everything again. Yeah, got these little strappies. I'm gonna throw them at the top of my subtool menu here so I can merge down, and I'll inflate them just a touch so they actually stand out. God, whatever artist it was that said that characters are just a collection of belts and straps and pouches could not be more accurate. I'm gonna duplicate these and see if I can get away with just throwing them on her arms. I can if I make her arms gigantic, which I was kind of already thinking about doing anyhow. She's looking a little too hot to be a monster, you know what I mean? Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's just what's gonna happen today. All right, let's make these bicep more. How do I do that? I'm using my clay brush and we're gonna build up the muscles by hand. There we go, that's a bigger deltoid. This is your bicep. Making it quite large. It's not quite that shape. Panic noise. There we go. And then the tricep, let's build that up as well. I'm just using a clay brush for all of this. And then I need to make the forearm bigger, and that's where I really have fun because the forearm is very difficult to build muscle on in real life, and therefore it's usually pretty underdeveloped. All right, that's good enough, other than the fact the deltoids look like little mushroom caps. Relax. Let's move that up and smoother. There we go, that's about right. Hey, Forge Me Things here. Hello, hello. Empress says it needs more belts, methinks. She is just a belt already. But I agree. Forge says, always more belts, and each belt needs 3 buckles. Yep. Hey Taylor, it's been a while, welcome back. Maybe add a reaction diffusion pattern as scales or wrinkles in her skin. Ooh. Ooh, that'd be super fancy. Yeah, covering her just like an, okay, I didn't think about texturing her skin like that. Like scaly almost. Like a lizard goat. I like how you think. All right, let's make sure these actually fit her arms. Today was definitely one of those models where I didn't really know where it was going to go, but I like where it's going. Oh, Reaper, we're going to work on your OC tomorrow. So when I make that project reference Discord, keep an eye out because you mentioned possibly wanting her in like this cool medieval dress. So I want you to go medieval dress shopping tonight. All right, the back of this is so boring. Let's make it less boring. We're gonna just delete the topology in the center, polish by features, and then we'll kind of bring these 2 straps back a little bit. There we go, that's more interesting looking. I'm not too worried about clipping issues here. I'm more so just figuring out like where everything's gonna lay at the end. So if I know these belts are going to lay on top, they don't have to be perfect right now, but I do need to make sure they lay on top at least a little bit. Otherwise, I will forget when I pose her, and half of it will be poking through and half of it won't. I speak from experience. All right, we're going to mask the top of this a little bit and make it longer so I can kind of affect the front silhouette here, because as of now, I can't even tell that it's back there. Reaper says, ooh, I'm excited. Me too. All right, now we're about 1/4 of the way through Tavern Keeper's Craft. Made some pretty good progress, if I do say so myself. I forgot to broaden her back before I put a shirt on, so now I have to do it after the fact. Wah. I'm pretty much just taking her traps and her lats and just pushing them out. Traps and lats. Her back. Her back is getting bigger. That's all that's happening here. There we go. All right, she doesn't have any fur trim on anything, which is fine. I feel like we are missing an extra texture. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, here's a really fun way to add fur trim to things. So I wanna add fur trim to this top, right? So you can go to Stroke, Curve Functions, Frame Mesh. I don't have polygroups, I can turn that off. I don't have creeps, edges, I can turn that off. Just border. See this dotted line comes up? So now I can click on a curve brush, such as Curve Tube, click, and there you go. Obviously a little bit of a mess here, so all you have to do is just reduce your draw size, click again, and it will auto update. Once you have that in place, what's really cool is it's already masked. So if I hit split mask points, I got this handy dandy trim all ready to go. I mentioned I want it to be fur, so I'm gonna Dynamesh it at a low res. We're going to change the color to white, fill object. And then I can inflate this whole thing. And just use my move brush. Just start clicking and dragging with Option held down. That's Alt on Windows. And start getting this roughed out texture going. Isn't that cool? That's a really quick and easy way to add trim to any of your assets. There we go. Also introduces another color onto the palette here, which I like. I think it'd be cool if I can use this to make the silhouette more interesting too. Cool. I feel like I need to give her like an interesting boob shape. I know that doesn't make sense. I just mean like there's a lot of silhouette opportunity here. So I'm like, what do I want to do with that? Taylor sent some examples in the chat. Ooh, some reaction diffusion examples. Oh, cool. That would be really cool. I'm glad you put those in here. And they're actually, since they're already black and white, they're quite usable. I'll think about that. I'm trying to think. I don't know how to put it in as a noise map, but I do know how to import it as like an alpha. So I'll keep that in mind. I might want to do it until after she's posed, just to prevent the skin from being too warped or distorted, especially like in elbows and knees areas. Yeah, I'm thinking more like triangle-y shaped, like 50s boob. It's like, what a weird thing to have an opinion on. I'm like, nah, there's options here. Here we go. Keep adjusting. And then use my pinch brush to kind of keep this narrow and tight. Because there's a lot of different belts here, and I want to make sure it's already looking kind of cluttered, so I need to be careful on that. Corey's here. Good morning. Welcome in. We're working on a two-faced goat, orc, demon lady. She currently only has one face, but soon she will have two face. All right, playing some more with this design here, making it a little more asymmetrical. More shapes, more interesting shapes. These are probably gonna end up being animal hides of some sort. As of now, they're just shapes. No detail, no texture. I know I'm gonna wanna add some fur trim to these as well, so I'll do that same technique where I go to Strip, Frame Mesh, click on Curve Tube, touch once, way too big, adjust my draw size to be smaller, split mask points, and Dynamesh. There you go, fur trim, crazy. I feel like I want this to pinch between her toe, kind of like sandals. The current shape just feels a little boring, you get me? Okay, it doesn't really read like that still, but whatever. All right, same thing as what I did before. I'll use Move and Backface Mask to create a more interesting silhouette right here. Excellent. Yeah, a two-faced goat orc. Interesting. The actual details for the request are in our Discord under Two-Faced Monster, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Why are you not working? Why is my brush doing literally nothing? The intensity is on Focal shift is on. Z add. What is your problem? I don't want to figure it out. So I'm going to B for brushes and reset all brushes. Oh, look, now it works. Neato. What was wrong? Oh, I think focal shift was turned to 100. That's why. There needs to be something white around her hips too. I haven't decided what that's going to be though. Yeah, this is looking pretty cool. All right, because Taylor keeps mentioning this cool diffusion reaction thing, which again, I'm not certain how to use, but I want to. I'm going to screenshot this one and see if I can get this to work at all. Not because it's not usable, because I just don't remember how to do it. I think it's alpha import. I think this should work, but sometimes it just like does not work. And if I use my layer brush, I could be able to manually paint this on. Go under layer, brush alpha. Yeah, see, it's not here. Boo. It has to be a right size and a right resolution, all that kind of stuff, but sometimes I can do this and it will just work. I did not do my little prayer rain dance to the ZBrush gods, so oh well. That being said, adding more of a scale-like texture to her is a really cool idea, and to make it 3D printable, I already know how to do that. And I also know I can manually paint this kind of stuff on. So what if it's gonna end up looking kind of like scarification, is what I'm predicting. But as of now, I'm kind of just adding, just freehanding some swirls in here with my mask brush. I'm also doing this in a way that's gonna complement her muscles. I'm not in Procreate, so I don't have like my stabilize. You can see all my hand wobbling. That's okay. I said I wasn't going to do this before posing because it's going to deform around the elbows, but then I was like, I really want to see what it's going to look like. So here we are. Possibly making this future Mia's problem, which I said I wasn't going to do. So be it. Ooh, I really want that kind of effect on her face though. If this works at all, it's going to be so cool. And full credit to Taylor, because I wasn't even thinking about this. I'm really taking more of like a tribal paint approach, but painting the whole model instead of testing it out one section at a time is really not the way to do this. But it's Chaos Monday. I do what I want. And in any inefficient way that I want. Stop blurring the mask. So that's one thing. If you hold a command or control on Windows and tap, it'll blur your mask. If you're doing something like this, just be careful it doesn't happen. I'm pretty much going to etch all of this into her skin so that way it actually will show up on a 3D printed model and hopefully catch with the wash. Oh, it looks pretty darn cool. So we'll do two things. We'll invert the mask first, and then we're going to poly paint it a deeper green. And then we're going to invert this mask and then sink it into her skin. I'll use a reverse inflate to do that. I'm just going to look pretty gnarly, don't get me wrong. So be the way of 3D printing. All right, we're going to clean it up right here next to her eyes so that it doesn't actually touch right there when I sculpt it in. ZBrush, if you crash me right now, I'm going to lose it. It's kind of lagging, so I'm going to not touch it for a second. Don't crash. I don't want to redo my scribbles. No, I did not do a tramp stamp. That was a missed opportunity, wasn't it? I love, again, Taylor will have recommendations like, oh, you should use this really cool advanced technique, and then like tramp stamp. I like it everywhere except for her face. I think it's a little too heavy-handed. So it's really just this one right here that I'm not crazy about. So let me just... I can't even tell what I am and what I'm not masking. What in the world? All right, turn off poly paint. There we go. Oh, that's right, because I poly painted it first. I was like, what is happening here? Go ahead and pinch the edge right here. Invert the mask and then poly paint that stripe away. Go with a deeper greenish purple to kind of layer this down. I also need to construct these eyelids a little nicer, or at least just make them look more clear and confident. So I'll come with my standard brush, or damn standard, kind of loop in some extra creases. I need lazy mouse for this though, otherwise it's gonna be all shaky. There we go. Add a little more definition to her mouth. And then build up that border so it really looks nice on a 3D print. Same with this little thing, can't remember what it's called. The top of your Cupid's bow. Fixing her nostrils a touch here because they really didn't go in very far. Obviously, it's not like they're functional by any means, but I mean, they should still be there. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of epic. I love that. Ooh, maybe give her cat eyes. I didn't think about that. Oh, definitely like I should save. You guys are right. All right, it's Two-Faced Monster for now, but we'll think of something better to call her. All right, how are those details looking? Are they punched in? Oh yeah, they're punched in. Okay, cool. Well, that's a lot of detail. So now I need to back off on some other areas of my design, lest this looks like just a mess. Or at least it has to be a mess that breathes. So we're gonna remove every other strap. Okay, we're just gonna remove one strap right here. That's the thing, when your designs get too cool, then you have to figure out how to make them not just obnoxious, which is a much better problem to have. You want to go too far and then and then roll back, not the other way around. There we go. Is there an easy way for me to poly paint this again without, because I do want to make them look like little slits. Oh, that's just black. That's not what I wanted. Why are you doing that? Oh, if your draw size is 1, you get into all kinds of funny problems, just letting you know. As a general rule of thumb, don't ever make your draw size just solid 1 because it will affect the brush in ways you probably don't expect. We're just gonna add a little point here. Again, this doesn't affect the 3D print, but it's fun. So we're just gonna kind of rough in that shape. I feel like you're not painting. Okay, you are. I'm just not where I think I am. There we go. A little wobbly, but cool. Yeah, good idea. I also think her hair is too clean, but I don't want it to get too messy. Pretty cool. All right, we need to detail this. So we're gonna go to dynamic and thickness, a nice offset. No, that's not what I meant. Why are you like clipping through yourself so quickly? How is this backwards? I might have got my normal slipped on this. So usually we use dynamic thickness and you extrude. It will add material. Like here's your plane, it'll add it on both sides. If you do a negative offset of 100, it goes just all the way to the left or all the way to the right if it's positive. It's not quite behaving the way that I'm expecting it to. Oh, because I had it on positive 100. That's why. I see. Yeah, my normal just got flipped. Not a big deal. In that case especially, it doesn't change anything. Adding some fabric folds by using my standard brush. And we're gonna come in a little heavier handed here. Perfect. And then we'll add kind of like a rough hide leather texture with the layer brush. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. When in doubt, don't overthink your fabric folds. If you're not going to simulate them, if you're not going for like pure accuracy, just get some interesting texture on there, especially because I do this for 3D printing. I just want something there for the brush to catch. I'll add some seams on the side. There we go. And now we're going to use that layer brush technique I talked about. So I'll grab layer, change my alpha to something scratchier looking. Let's go with this. And then I'm going to change it from dots to drag rectangle. There you go. Make sure you have backface mask turned on so it doesn't rip through your mesh. And then adjust your focal shift as needed based on your fall off. So pretty much focal shift is just the fall off of your brush. And you're like, what do you mean by fall off? It just means how like it blends in. So if I have the focal shift really low, you're gonna see like the square where the brush is acting. If it's really high, it's gonna have a larger fall off because it's a higher number, which means it's gonna blend more. So just think more focal shift, more blend. There we go. Nice. And then I want to add in some cool buckles here, but my issue with adding buckles is like, is that too refined for her? I feel like she wouldn't have buckles or any metal, you know what I mean? Like it'd just be knots. It'd all be knot work. So maybe I should be adding, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Nope, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'm onto something here. I don't know what it is. So I'll come back. My problem is I don't think belt buckles make any sense for this character, but I want some sort of little fun detail on the belts. If you guys figure it out, let me know. All right, I'm gonna throw her into Transpose Master, even though I'm not ready to pose her yet, because I just want to make all of her proportions look more interesting. I want wide hips. All right, and I want her to have a much taller torso too. So let me mask this, and then I'll grab Mask Lasso. We're gonna have a symmetry turned on for all of this. Because again, I'm not posing, I'm just changing her proportions to be more interesting. Make her a bit taller. More torso. And I already did this once where I made her feet bigger, but I think they should be even bigger. Be careful when you're adjusting proportions. If you go too far, you're just gonna end up back where you started. Like it'll just like a big loop. Like if you're like, oh, make her head a little bigger, her shoulders a little bit bigger, her hips a little bigger, and by the time you're done, you made everything a little bit bigger, and now she's just the same size again. I've done that more times than I care to count. What if she had an eerily long neck? Taylor, you're on fire today. Yes, yes. That's gonna start introducing this monster concept a lot better, especially if I have her lean forward just a touch. I think it's actually gonna make her look prettier. But it's gotta look really intentional, not just like she's a little borked up, you know? It's gotta look like, oh, she has a long neck, not like, oh my God. Oh my God, you know what she's reminding me of? What are those things called from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Rauru or whatever? God, I can't, they don't say it, it's not voice acted in that way, so. Haha, not randomizer. Rauru. This guy. Am I just sculpting this guy without meaning to? I feel like this is what's happening right now. God, the way I've never had an original thought in my whole life. It's okay. It's a killer design, so of all things to accidentally copy, I'm okay with that. Hey Ray, how's it going? I think it'd be fun if her knee joint was dropped, so her femur is longer, but she doesn't actually have digitigrade legs. So if I was gonna make her digitigrade, it'd be like this thing. You know what I'm trying to say? This thing. But we're not doing that. It is gonna be like normal legs, but I'm just gonna have them kind of hyperextended, like think almost like a ballerina-esque. It's just gonna be like a dropped femur bone. That's all. That sounds painful when I say it that way. God, she's looking really cool. Alex says, it's okay. Everything has been done before. You're right, you're right. I heard a really sweet quote. It was pretty much like everything has been done before, but you haven't done everything before, so you should still do it and experience it. Oh, Ray says I can rig things super confidently now, so that's fun. That's awesome. I'm glad you're making progress in your art journey. All right, and so something I do when I make the torso longer is I make this really smooth curve, and that doesn't make sense. There still will be a pelvis there, you know? So I need to make sure that bony landmark still exists. So I'm gonna pull that edge out right here. so it actually reflects in the silhouette. Same with that bottom ribcage bump. Let's hide that and let's bring that ribcage bump back. See? It makes things look better. You might not know why initially, but essentially it's just like, oh, aha, structure. I knew I wanted that. And I need to move her little hair strands away from her neck so I don't obscure this weird neck I just gave her. Otherwise, you can't even see it. Or not weird neck, just long neck. Yeah. Oh, that is eerie. That is weird. I love that. Bryce says, I did try hunting for references for the two-faced ogre thing. It was hard to find. Yeah, that's why Mia's just going off script. I am making a goat demon lady. And I know I can do that because this requester is really chill. They just want me to make cool stuff. Go away, Spotlight. All right, cool. All right, it's time to start trying to figure out how to put this other face on her. And, oh yeah, this is kind of fun to watch this apply. See, proportions are everything. Eh? Nah. I feel like that, what is that peasant from The Witcher? You walk in, it's like the blacksmith. He's like, yeah. If you guys play Witcher 3, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he's super loud every time you walk into this village. It's like Blackborough or whatever. Anyway. Just peasant stuff. Don't worry about it. Oh, yes, Mia, don't forget the very vital Shift X. You're right. It's exploding time. We exploded too far. This is every single subtool that I can see all at once, guys. Whee! So these are all the pieces we've made today. All right, let's put her back together. Oh, that was kind of cool. Wait, I wanted to see that. Wait, explode again. Here. I gotta zoom in. Make it a cool angle. Here. Oh, damn it. I hit Shift S, so now it's stamped on my screen. All these random body parts. That's okay. That's fine. So, if you guys didn't know, we started today here, and now we have this cool lady. Whoop. But now let's just have her here, because she's cool. Yeah, she did end up kind of hot. I specifically said I wasn't going to do that. What are you going to do? I don't think these little straps look good. I think that just makes the design look noisy. Go away. Yeah, I guess you need more room to play with the abdominal muscles. Everybody likes that. Bryce says his clothing pieces are so cool. Thank you. All right, we're gonna have a little reference stamp as we continue to work. Yeah, it's been replaced. All right, it's time to dual head her. I'm gonna duplicate the horns and then I'm gonna mirror them. Because I just think I knew this would be cool and kind of serve as a point for me to figure out how to balance them. Many Blades had a really cool idea where the head wouldn't be super obvious. It would be if you had long hair in the back to hide the face and then separate it so like the hair parts and then you see a face inside of it. So I might end up messing with that. We'll see. Alex says, I the beholder. We like long neck people. Ogres alike. Thought you were going to say we like long necks and we cannot lie. But yeah, that works too. Alright, duplicate and mirror. I'm just grabbing all these different pieces and we're going to just keep mirroring them essentially. Alright, mirror. Why are you not mirroring? Oh, you are. I'm just dumb. Mirror Z. I was like, it's not working. Clicking the wrong button. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna kind of have this weird glitch effect here, and I think it'd be nice if the head on the back was a bit lower too. Because again, it's not two heads, it's two faces. So, there we go. So we're gonna lower it a touch. I think I'm gonna use the bun as kind of like a joint for me to reference, like this. And then I can have like the hair strands in the front hanging low. Just like a, so we're not quite doing Mini Blaze's idea. I just knew it would help with vibes. And what Mini Blaze described was really creepy, like an eye poking through. So I like the idea that the head on the back, or the face on the back, is actually a bit more bedraggled. So it's gonna be pointed downwards, and we're gonna have some of these hair strands covering the front of the face too. So let's go into auto groups. Oh, are these horns separate pieces too? Yikes. Okay, I did not plan for this. That's fine. We'll split mask points and deal with that later. Auto groups. I just want to grab these hair strands and make them their own little piece. There we go. Split mask points, duplicate, and we're going to throw a hair strand over the front. Look at this. See? Just going to look spooky back here. All right, now I'm going to duplicate the entire body and remove the head, or just keep the head. To do that, I'm just going to use Mask Lasso and then Command W to make its own polygroup. So now if I do Command Shift click and click twice, nope, once, we can do delete hidden. Make sure you delete your subdivs, otherwise that won't work. All right. Oh, I need to give her eyeballs too. You know what? No, I don't. Let's just make them pure black. This back head should be cursed anyway. All right, really just, there we go. In my head, the front face is like a normal warrior, and the head on her back is like a spellcaster. I like the idea that some sort of dark magic. Like she was not born like this. This is definitely a like warlock pact gone wrong. All right, she can't have two sets of ears though. That doesn't make any sense. No ears for you. You cannot hear. You are deaf. I mean, technically this is an outside structure. This doesn't necessarily mean she couldn't hear, but whatever. There we go. No ears. Oh, I almost like that better. Should this be the front head? No, let's not worry about it. Ray says the real question is, if you had a secondary consciousness, would you get along with it? Definitely not. I barely get along with myself. Too real? I don't know what it is, like the hair strands or what. This is like the epitome of like, oh no, they're hot. And I think these horns need to be a touch different. There's just got to be different. A bit smaller. That's cool. How in the heck am I going to show this off that there are two heads in the render? Someone's going to be like, oh, cool model. And they're going to 3D print it. And when it's 3D printed, they're going to be like, what the f like, eh. Yeah, I agree, Mini Blaze. It's just not Unroll Monday. I think we are all dragging. Yeah, honestly, same. But I think that's fine. Like, it's rainy, it's stormy. I have already taken a nap today, and it's only 2 p.m. It's just kind of how it be. You know what? I'm just gonna. It's hearts on the stream kind of day. I'm sending good vibes your guys' way. It's okay to let it just be a slow day. It doesn't mean it's a bad day either. It's just a slow day. God, I cannot give her boobs on her back. That makes no sense. But like, I feel like I'm supposed to. You know what I mean? No. No, Mia. Doesn't this mean that one of her arms needs to be facing the other way? Because she's fighting someone in front of her and behind her. Damn it, Ethan, this request is so hard and so cool. Minnie Boy says, I can see it now. I'll give it to my hubby and say, print this, and not warn him. You'll spend hours trying to figure out why there's two faces, right? It's because she's just a monster lady. That's all. Alo says, yeah, sorry for not much energy, guys. I am Sleepy Panda. Why are we all like this? Yesterday was Mother's Day. I feel like that can be a can of worms for lots of people. So if you guys had a great Mother's Day with your mom or motherly figure, guardian, whatever, that's awesome. If you didn't and it was a stressful, shitty weekend, it's okay. It happens. It's not a big deal. You know, it's one of those holidays I think it's always kind of like a weird one because like it feels like it should be a given, but it's not. You know what I mean? So it's complicated. Family stuff. So if that is any reason why you guys are sleepy or just because it's spring and allergies, that's also totally fine. Just know that that's fine. That's a-okay. Be extra, since we all know we're being a little sleepy today, be extra kind to yourself. Taylor says, you should give her a chest on the backside, but they can double as the shoulder blades. That is super clever. Man, Taylor, you're on fire. All of us are dead asleep. And then Taylor is just coming in with like straight fire suggestions. That's fantastic. So they're going to be like shoulder blade boobs. Cool. Which is really just a more like athletic build look. And I kind of already have that shape here anyway, so I'll just kind of think of it that way. Why are all my brushes backwards right now? I don't understand. Reset all brushes. How many times do I reset my brushes today, guys? It's something I'm doing. I just can't. I can't stop doing it. What if she had one boob and a shoulder on one side? You know what? We're not going to worry about this. I gave this small suggestion of it, and then we're gonna move right along before we all get stuck on shoulder boobs. Yeah, many ways you were close with Taylor. Just not able to explain it well, but that's a tricky concept to explain. It's very funny. Same brain cell. Ah, this is cool. You gotta turn one arm around. I do. You are right. All right. How are we going to do that? We're going to duplicate her. And then we're going to split this off into a piece. Ricky is going to have a nightmare rigging this because half of her is going to be backwards. That's fine. He's had to do harder, so. All right, we have two bodies. This body is just going to become an arm. Man, I'm really digging the patterns here. Again, man, I keep like harping on it. Taylor. Great creative energy today because I have the skills to do it right now, but not the creativity to think of anything. So I appreciate you. All right, I can delete this. We have an arm, behold. And now for this side, if I don't want to reconstruct subdiv, so we're going to just take this arm and make it, hey guys, it's tiny hands. It's finally happening. It's been so long. Yep, tiny arm. If you're wondering, like, why are you doing that? It's because I don't want to reconstruct subdiv. So I'm just gonna... Actually, they're even quads, so I should be able to do that no problem. All right, I'm gonna reconstruct subdiv because supposedly it works, but I never believe that's gonna work. Let's see if it works. We are going to mask this. Is it gonna work? Delete hidden. Delete subdiv, which I don't trust this because supposedly you can reconstruct it if it's even quads, and it was reconstruct. Unable to reconstruct. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's because I deleted topology, isn't it? And that button's useless. Boo. All right, tiny arm it is. Just make it flat. I know that's not gonna rig in character creator. I have to do this correctly. Ray says, Mia, I've started saying same brain cell lately. It's a problem. No, it's not. You're Spreading the peasant verbiage. I like it. Yeah, we do need a weapon for her. Yeah. Let's talk about weapons. I just need this to be skinnier and hide in the other arm because I don't want to redo it. All right. Merge down, and then we're going to mirror it across the z-axis. Yep. Why is there copies of everything still? The heck? Oh, not mirroring well, just mirror. That's so cool. Ew. What? Should we flip a leg too? I don't know. I thought we had to flip a leg too. Hey, Rudy's here. String bean arm. Ah. Self-reference. I feel like we should flip a knee. Or not a knee, but the whole leg. How you doing, Maverick? Maverick's awake. There he is. Hello, Black Bean. Put your teeth away. All right, coming up to the end of Tavern Keeper's Craft. Very nice. Very nice. Got a ton of work done on this. Feeling proud of that. Oh, we can get rid of the hearts. Oh, I think it's... You know why I like this character on the back so much and how scary she looks? Because she looks just like my Necromancer from Diablo 4. It's like just one of the presets. Let me see if I can find it. Diablo 4, Necromancer. I usually don't go with like the presets, but it was such a good default build. Yeah, it's the first thing that comes up. Well, okay. Her. That's pretty much exactly what my character in Diablo looks like. I mean, one of them. Can I make this bigger? There we go. Same vibes. Like, absolutely. I haven't played Diablo 4 in a while. Does anyone here play it? Like, how is the new season? I feel like I've been gone for so long. All right, let me add some edge loops to this because I forgot to do it before I split them into different pieces. Just something really simple. All right, and then squish that down so they don't cut through each other and look dumb. There you go. Trim. Doesn't that look nicer? Oh, yes. Alright, same thing on this one. I think I can edit this topology, yeah, without the whole mesh freaking out. Good job, ZBrush. I'm gonna do this one different. Just cause. Doesn't really match her arm very well, so let's go ahead and fix that with move topological. We're just squishing. Rudy, how are you doing? I think right before you came in, we were all talking about being tired. Everyone here is just kind of like vibing. It's not like a bad day. It's just a quiet, sleepy day. It's all like rainy over here and pretty. It's putting me to sleep. All right, right now I'm kind of flattening this edge down right here because if I don't, it will rig like a monster in Character Creator. And by rig like a monster, I mean it won't. It will not rig. There we go. Ricky says coffee. I'm kind of thinking coffee, but I also feel like it's gonna make my stomach all acidy. But do I want to be awake, or do I want to awake and uncomfortable, or sleepy and comfortable? I'll just stay sleepy. Yeah, I won't worry about it. Thank you, honey, though. Empress says, tired as heck, but life has to life, right? If I can be totally real with you guys, I was not going to stream again today, because I didn't stream yesterday either, because I've just been sleepy recently. And I streamed specifically because a few of you, Empress, you come to mind right away, have mentioned like that these streams like one of your favorite parts of your day. And I'm like, that's so sweet. I gotta do it for the peasants. And I gotta get my work done anyway. But like, I will say that was kind of like the crowning motivation to stream today, where I'm like, this is gonna make someone else's day better. And I'm gonna be tired either way. So I might as well be tired and hang out with you guys on stream. Rudy says, Ricky, bring coffee or tea to your monarch. Yeah, maybe some lemonade or something. A drink of some sort would be nice. Dr. Pepper for your court jester, please. Yeah, checks out. You would be a Dr. Pepper person. No, honestly, Ricky, you know the rule. If you're making yourself coffee, I want some. That's just how it is. And Lois says, yeah, I always look forward to the streams too. It's a great part of every week. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Yeah, it's making me more productive. I am not kidding. I would not have streamed today. I've been having fun with doing the stream streaks and stuff, but I'm thinking of maybe doing something different for summer, because a lot of things I want to go do are like during the day, which is when I stream. I don't know. We'll see. I got nothing set in stone right now. As of now, stream every day. Many boys. Hey, don't knock the pepper people. Oh man, that really checks out then. Oh no, even Ray likes Dr. Pepper. Am I the outlier here? I don't think so. Rudy says, I passed out like 2:30 a.m. and woke up at 7:30 and slept on an unmade bed. Oh no, it's the worst. I was also up till 2:30, or just before it. I finished that book, Hell of Heather and Bones. So good. And I thought it was a duology. I thought there was 2 books. There's not. It's a one-off. So like I read the epilogue and was like, that felt really final. And I looked for the next book and couldn't find it, and then reread the epilogue and cried. So that was me at 2 a.m. last night. Ray says, don't be wrong, I'm a monster kind of person. You can't hate on Dr. Pepper. I'm hating a little bit. I also don't think Monster's very good either, but there's a couple that I really like. All right, I'm gonna merge all of this down and then scoot the head back a little bit. I don't mind that she's looking more two-headed than two-faced, but she's looking a little two-headed. Oh my God, I'm giving myself a stroke. Okay, anyway, it needs to look more like it's one head. That's all I'm trying to say. There we go. So we're gonna just pivot at the base here and rotate it up just a touch. Or kind of. Just scoot it on back, but lower. There we go. It looks like they're sharing the same bun now. That's very funny. All right, and then the back of this needs to not show. So I'll just mask it, delete hidden, and close holes. And same kind of deal where I smooth these edges out so Character Creator does not just have a meltdown. There we go. Beautiful. That's what I wanted. Yeah, he is a sleepy dog. He just oh no, he fell off his bed. I didn't hear what was happening. Let me show you guys. So, dog bed, no dog. He is on the floor next to it, wrapped up in that little blanket. Did you fall off? Oh. Okay, I'll fix him during happy hour. Come on, camera. Do the camera thing. Nah, that's good enough. Cool. I feel like I'm shrinking. There we go. Good enough. Taylor says maybe she can have an earring that loops from the ears on the front head to the ears on the back head. I de-eared her back head. That's the only issue. But that would be clever if I didn't de-ear her. I like that's kind of windswept from the front. That's cool. Ray says, Mia, when you merge down to subtools, does the internal topology get deleted or do you need to use Boolean? Yeah, no, you gotta use Boolean. So you can either use Dynamesh or Remesh by Union. I could attach it to her nose. I'm a big fan of like nose ring to her horn, something like that. That's also cool. I did that for the Rhino folk that we did. Ear to nose also, but what about nose to horn? What about both? What about just everywhere? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I like that we made the neck so weirdly long because it gave me room to like put the other head kind of sinking down her neck. Really eerie, really weird. All right, I want to see if I can get her pose ready. And by the end of, in the next like 10 minutes, I need you guys to hype me up. I need energy. I'm gonna like vampire you guys' vibes and somehow get this ready for posing in like 15 minutes. Okay, let's go. Let's go. All right, first things first, I have to actually detail the things I ignored, which is a lot. So we're gonna go ham on this. We're gonna add dynamic subdiv, thickness, make it more negative. There we go. But not high poly, none of that. Sweet, did that thing. And then we're going to extrude some edge loops on the side here. So that way when I do the thing, gosh, what is a word? Maybe I won't talk while I do this. We're just going to work quickly because I cannot think. All I'm doing right now is detailing this piece. That's what I'm trying to say. But then I try to get real technical with how I was detailing the piece and I short-circuited. I need to watch this stream back later and be like, wow, that was a time, wasn't it? Gonna use a layer brush. Thank you guys for the vibes. I appreciate it. I see all the little confettis. We're going, we're going, we're going. And for any of y'all that are at work right now too, hopefully I can hype you up too. I can share a small amount of vibe for you. We're gonna do this quick and dirty details. Let's go. Matt, if you're still here, I can almost guarantee that you could put in less effort on whatever you're working on. Here is your official permission on stream live to cut corners lovingly. Because we still love our art and we don't want to actually make bad art. All right, good enough. I want to poly paint it. Nope, not relevant. Move on. All right, insert some edge loops. 1, 2, well, bam. So I've been feeling kind of funky lately. It happens, right? And when I feel kind of funky, fun thing about me is that I get really picky with food. I like become a little food hater, which is really annoying. And just to be clear, like this has nothing to do with like body image stuff. It's just like literal like flavor and appetite. So one of my fail-proof ways of fixing that is cereal, specifically Captain Crunch. your girl bought like a 3-pound bag of Captain Crunch yesterday, and I will not tell you how many bowls I've had of it already because I have some self-respect. But that's what I'm gonna do on break. I'm gonna have another unnumbered, unnamed bowl of Captain Crunch. It's gonna be great. If it's like, well, maybe you're having these really terrible sugary cereals making you feel worse, I will have none of that. I'm just gonna have my bowl of cereal, my unnumbered bowl of cereal, and enjoy myself. Also, this is coming along great. I might actually get this done. Let's go. There we go. And I thought really long and hard if like I've been feeling weird because I'm streaming and I'm working a lot. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm getting burned out. Maybe I need to take a break. No, it's really not related. I don't know why I'm feeling like that. Sometimes brain just not braining. But I wouldn't go as far as to say as like I'm feeling like unhappy. Just kind of weird, you know? Everyone's like, oh, it's seasonal depression. I'm like, no, I just think it's some funk. I blame the Dr. Pepper people. You guys are putting your weird Dr. Pepper love out there. Rudy, how many captains had to die for that? Points microphone to Mia. Captain Crunch mascot sculpt when. Yeah, no. Live stream is definitely not the problem. This is like one of my favorite parts of my day too. You guys are fun as hell. Gray says, Mia, I've never even tried Captain Crunch. What is it most similar to? It's just sugar corn cereal. It's delicious. Ah, the bees are happening. Revolt, Dr. Pepper clan. Oh, on another note, I am listening to Attack on Titan lo-fi, and it is putting me in the best mood. Maybe that's what I need. It's time to reread all of Attack on Titan. Maybe not. I'm already feeling kind of sad. Maybe Kamisama Kiss. That might be a better time. I don't know. Sometimes you're already feeling kind of sad. You put more sad on top of it. It makes you feel better. You know what I mean? I don't know. Not a therapist. Don't listen to me. I vote vitamin deficiency. No. We're going to take that reasonable comment and we're going to throw it away. Monkey says, hey Mia, I just posted a thing in your self-promo channel Discord. If you feel like checking it out or showing it off, take a peek. Heck yeah, I do. We always have time to show love for Monkey. All right, it's Monkey Love. Hey everyone, I'm putting a plug out there for a friend of mine whose book I converted into Roll20. This is Kibble's Compendium of Legends and Legacies. It's a massive book of martial might and magical mayhem for D&D 5e. 4 new classes, 30 plus new subclasses, 40 feats, 240 spells. Hot damn. It's $50. Looks like it's from Wizards of the Coast. Looks so professional and spot on. Look at that. That looks super professional and amazing. And it comes with an art pack. Oh, with tokens. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Go look at it. It's links in our Discord right now. I like it. Thank you for sharing that. Sugar sandpaper. Okay, I will not tolerate Captain Crunch hate in my chat. Not in my house. Which Captain Crunch do you like? The normal one. I think it's so weird that there's so many different kinds of Captain Crunch. Like, there's just one. You know what? I think this design is a little unclear. I'm just realizing this. Because this arm is the same. Why is it the same? Why does this stream feel like a fever dream? Okay. Let's do this. And let's make this arm like black and like diseased, you know? We'll bring in more of that purple tone. Yes. Very cool. Much disease. I'm coming with my brush alpha here, invert it, and then click and drag to get some coolness happening. But gently. I might need to use drag rectangle to have more control on this. There we go. And then the elbow got kind of lost. So let me just bring in I have a little anatomy brush, but specifically for monsters from Flip Normals. I think it'd be nice just to be able to throw a little elbow on here with some poly paint, please. Yeah, I like it. Something kind of like that. But does she need ribs? No, I'm getting a little too ham with the design. Leave it alone. Okay, moving on. Same goes with this. Like these little straps don't make sense then. We're not gonna have those, and instead, I wish I kept those ones that were hanging on her chest because, oh, I can use these instead. I think it'd just be cool if I had some like little straps that were hanging over her shoulder instead. You know, Sleepy Mia can like cook still. Again, it's almost like I can't think fast enough to get in my own way because I'm tired. Huh. Cool beans. Yeah, that's way cooler. What the heck? Can you mirror and weld? Z? Nope, not an X. Z. Heck yeah. Cool. Hey, Captain Crunch is Paint's favorite cereal. Someone give that man some poing. Bias poing. All right, the mug is getting dangerously close to happy hour and I still have stuff to do. Panic. If I would stop changing the design, that would be great. But I keep coming up with new ideas and I'm like, I must change the design. All right, time to add a bunch of edge loops. This doesn't look like garbledy-gook. Do I have symmetry turned on? No, cool. And that was actually not sarcastic cool. Like I meant like, oh, like actually good. God, when you're so, like your sense of humor is so dry, it's it's difficult to be like, no, really, that's what I wanted. That still sounds sarcastic. Whatever. I'm so glad I streamed today. It kind of helps too that I don't really check in with like, oh, like I'm gonna do a thing. How do I feel about that thing? If I did that, I'd never get anything done. I'll do what I call like I'll pre-decide and then I'll just honor that. Obviously, if I'm like actually sick or like I can't talk or whatever, or something's wrong, like I don't feel that pressured, but it is a nice technique to use if you find yourself talking your way out of things after you've agreed to doing it. Just don't do that. God, I'd be the worst I'd be a terrible therapist. I'd be like, I'm sad. I'd be like, don't be. Have you tried not being sad? Ah, ZBrush crashed. Son of it. Nope, PG stream. Spirals are the worst. Yeah. I just let it happen. I was like, you know what? This is fine. It looks cool still. I feel like a lot of things I've said have been especially unhinged and quotable today. I appreciate the Tavers quote. This is just blowing up. Oh, did I not lose any work? Okay, kind of, but not really. All right, that's not terrible. And again, the topology on this is absolute garbage anyway, so I'm not expecting it to behave appropriately. And sometimes these little edge loops make for happy accidents. We're all about that here. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear that? Very loud growl from my stomach. I'm hoping my mic is not that good. You will get your Captain Crunch. Just wait like 10 minutes. Why will you not go the opposite direction? Zoom in more. There we go. I know it's pretty normal for people that stream all the time to have like, not like a persona, but like they don't act that way all the time. I have officially lost the divide, guys. This is just what I'm like in real life. I used to have like a sweeter persona, I feel like, when I'd stream. A bit warmer, maybe. Nope, we've come full circle. When I'm tired especially, it's like, no persona. Don't have energy for that. Yeah, thank God. I thought the growl was a dog. No, it was me. No, it was the dog. Man, okay, I need to put a little noise gate on my mic. Note to self. Almost done with the last bit of details. I haven't done any like pose prep necessarily. This is all going pretty good. All right, I need to, oh, you know, I could probably just do close holes on this. Yeah, that actually worked. Nifty. All right, we are coming to the end of Tavern Keeper's Craft. If any of my students have work they would like me to review, go ahead and DM me now. So when I come back from happy hour, I can jump right into that. Come right back from break into happy hour. There we go. I can get right into that. I really love this character. It's funny because this morning I really was just like, I don't know how the heck I'm going to design this character. I just did not have anything in mind. So Empress, if you're still lurking, like this is why I harp on that create bad assignment so much, because that's how this started. I just had a base mesh and I just started creating stuff. And it's the same workflow that you implement or practice that skill with create bad. If you don't have that kind of flexibility in design to just kind of like pivot and just kind of like go with it, you'll still be able to create art and it'll be fine. It'll just be a lot more stressful, which in the long run usually causes people to burn out. I think there's a knee detail here. No, that's fine. I can just do an elbow. Oh, there's a kneecap. I don't know if I like that. Let's put elbows on the knees. Like, or a chin. Yeah, we'll put a chin on the knee. Just a reminder, whenever you buy brush packs like this, like you don't have to use it the way that they described it. They're just names. I do like the striation here. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Let's kind of fit that to the character a touch. And then I'll use my standard brush, kind of build up the outline a little clearer. Yeah, it's sick. Sick. All right, let's load in my weapons really quick and get something going. I don't know why this is giving me Mawile vibes. You know what? I don't know why either, but I know what you're talking about. Let me pull it up, people that are not absolute Pokemon geeks. Yeah, I get you. I don't know why I'm kind of feeling that vibe too. Like a human version almost. Why am I agreeing with, like, I actually can't explain it. It has the same vibe. Usually I'm more articulate. Not on this Monday. Bray says, I'm pretty sure Mawile was based off that Japanese demon with the mouth on the back of her head. Oh. That makes a lot of sense. All right, we're going to use got 2 weapons here. I think, again, I like the idea that the one on the back is like a magic caster of some sort. And so I'd like her to have some sort of staff, I think. Ooh, this bone club would be perfect, I think. Where is it? Why is everything in a folder? No. Get out of there. No, organization on my stream? Absolutely not. All right, in my head, she is some sort of like warrior princess. And she's also like next in line. So princess, right? So she's like next in line to take care of the village. But maybe she wasn't as powerful as she was hoping. So after her clan was raided and a bunch of people died, she made a pact with a demon to also fuse this lovely thing onto the back of her, which is a magic caster, because by default she had no magic in her. So this is like a warlock pack gone wrong. That is my headcanon for this. So she's literally gonna be twice as powerful as a result. Yeah, that'd be cool. I want something that's still really organic feeling. So we'll go with this hooked staff. And then that crystal on the inside obviously has to be like some sort of spooky purple. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. All right, made some huge progress from here to here. Happy with that. I also don't know why my canvas got resized. Not sure what's up with that. Let me fix it. Wouldn't her left boob be back muscle? She's not split down the middle. I didn't flip her leg. It's just this arm that's flipped. That's a very important, complicated question. All right, let me see if I can get a cool render scene going on here. Okay, I didn't quite get her 3D print or pose ready, but I got a ton of extra work done, so that last push was a good one. I want to decorate her with feathers. No, I need to take a break. Save. This is one of those models that's really hard to stop working on because it kind of just keeps building on itself really naturally. She says, well, yeah, only her chest would be affected. Yeah, that's not how I connected it though. So let me take her shirt off. Since we're getting all technical about this monster anatomy. I literally just rotated it at the deltoid here, not her pectoral. None of this is affected. It's just if you took this arm, because this is this isn't a ball joint. That's just your pelvis. But whatever joint type this is, I literally just flipped it on itself. I know it's like, oh, well, it connects to your shoulder blade, so that has to be there to move. No. She's half magic anyway. There's no clavicle muscle or clavicle bone on her chest because it's just normal pecs. All right, let me get this looking cool. For now, we're gonna hide this. I think try to get a cool little splash page going on. Maybe I'll do a backlight. I never do that. Partly because it's really finicky to do that. Get onto the back. Is it option click or just click click? Why are you being like this? Lame. Regardless, I like the purple light, so we'll keep that. There we go. My anatomy knowledge is screaming. I don't care. She's magic. Alrighty. Oh no, that purple light is too much. Yeah, I'll just keep it the way it is. Ooh, that's a really high contrast. I like that. Let's turn on perspective. So if your pivot point's ever really weird in ZBrush, all you have to do is like draw a little mask and they'll reset where your pivot point's at. This is a tricky one to get a splash page for because it's kind of insane. Oh, I didn't put a base on her either. I really want to do that really quick. I'll just import one. Type in base. There we go. Let's go with tentacle ooze base, maybe. No, let's do the rock and grass. Nice and simple. Rudy says gonna kill a boss right now. Wish me luck. Good luck. Sounds like a Dark Souls game. Some sort of Souls-like. Yeah, I'll do a tentacle ooze base. I'll have to make a new custom one for this, I think. But for now, we'll just get it started. Yeah, and I actually used this base last time for a Warlock as well, so that's pretty fitting. Elden Ring. I had a feeling. So that's so cool. All right, let's line it up right there. And then just so it's nice and clear, I'll have a little zoom in section right here. Spooky. All right, let me go ahead and take a quick screenshot of this and throw that in to our Discord. God, that was fun. Oh, I love you guys are all on different sides of this whole anatomy thing. That's something that's not even real. Which again, it can be based in reality, but I'm like, are y'all trying to rules lawyer my freaking double jointed monster here? Relax. Though, double jointed, fun fact, not technically a thing, just hypermobile. All right, increase that. Man, this looks so freaking mean and weird. I'm gonna have to do a couple screenshots for this, I think, just so it's like gonna read the most clearly. There we go. It's a bit more clear to show kind of what the heck is going on. Sick. Paint says, I am being contrarian, but in my favor, so I like it. All right. And then again, another huge shout out to Ethan and Jen for requesting this because it's awesome. And I knew you guys would just trust me to make something cool. So I went nuts with it. There we go. Not bad. That was a pretty productive and cool Tavern Keeper's craft. There we go. All right, sweet. Well, we're already coming up on the 3-hour mark of the stream, so I kind of overshot a little bit without meaning to. This does happen. So I'll take a quick break, maybe 10 minutes here, and we'll come back and do happy hour. Depending on how I'm feeling, we'll just jump straight to last call. But if there's any assignments for me to review from students, now is the time to DM me. I don't expect to have many submissions today, given that y'all are kind of sleepy. Oh, mini Blaze had their own little lore drop. I love that. Oh, good. You pretty much just put into words what I like roughed out. Good. Because I thought that was kind of a cool idea. All right. Definitely Necromage vibes. I'll be going on a quick break, and then we'll finish up the stream. Y'all take care. Hey y'all, I'm back. So it's funny, I saw in the chat you guys were kind of talking about like weather and like why we're all so tired and sleepy and stuff. Ricky and I were just doing the same thing, and I'm like, I don't think there's like a reason, because it was beautiful the other day. Today it's rainy and kind of gray, but usually that'll make me excited. So I'm not sure why we're all just kind of feeling this way, but that's okay. It happens. As a result, I have skipped happy hour. Made sure I didn't have any DMs. We're all good. That's the requester. They just saw it. I'm so glad. I knew they'd like it. Unique take for sure. We had a lot of fun with it on stream. But yeah, I just want to kind of check in with y'all. We're wrapping up really soon here. If you have any like final questions, comments, that kind of good stuff. This is officially last call. And then Reaper, if you are still free, I would love to consult and pick your art brain for some feedback on my sticker designs. Yeah, 70 in Michigan right now. That was weird. Weather do be weathering. Yeah, my head is just empty right now. No thoughts. Smooth brain. Alright, y'all. I had another bowl of cereal, which is great. So that is slowly hitting me some more calories. Probably make a smoothie after this. I like doing strawberry banana smoothies with a little bit of spinach. Gotta get iron in there somehow. Alright, y'all. I'm closing up. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe tomorrow we'll all be feeling better, but in the meantime, take it easy. Seriously. I know even if you're at work, like, just at least mentally slow down your thoughts. Take it easy. Be chill. And tonight, try to get some good sleep. I know I will. Alright. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.